Good evening, wrestling fans. We're your hosts, Lewis
and Jaden, and this is
Evolution of Pro Wrestling. Welcome back, fans, to another awesome show. This is an episode that is also going to be very historic. We have had many conversations. We've had many topics. This one, I think, is going to be by far the best one that we're going to have. But before we get into that, Jaden, I just want to mention that AEW again beat the WWE on Wednesdays in the ratings. So it's catching on pretty quick. So I don't know. We got to watch out with AEW. And yeah, it's 2 weeks. It's Sting. A lot of people are still interested. But Vince McMahon, Triple H, the moment they see some competition, they're going to be like, okay, let's step it up a little bit. Let's give them some competition, Also today in Las Vegas, there was a press conference with Cain Velasquez, former UFC heavyweight champion, has officially retired UFC to sign with the WWE to take on Brock Lesnar for the WWE title at Crown Jewel. Wow. And Triple H has announced and confirmed, this is just confirming from Triple H, Ronda Rousey is making her return to the WWE again. That's going to be interesting. So, also, Tyson Fury, World Heavyweight Boxing Champion, is going to be taking on Braun Strowman at Crown Jewel. Whew. Crown Jewel is just looking like a packed house in that.
They got some interesting matches going on.
No, it's looking like it's going to be amazing, that show, Crown Jewel. So, now, fans, the topic of the day. Jaden, tell them tonight's topic, because I'm excited for this one.
Tonight's topic is the history of Undertaker and Wrestlemania. His streak, how the streak ended, who should have ended the streak, why shouldn't the streak have ended, who would we like to see go against the Undertaker to finish the streak, and many more to come. I am absolutely looking forward to this. Undertaker is one of the most historical men inside the WWE. He's known for being three different characters, going from a little man to a big man in the WWE. So I'm absolutely looking forward to this topic. What about you, Dad?
No, absolutely. The best of the Undertaker's WrestleMania matches, who we would want him to fight, who we didn't enjoy watching him fight at WrestleMania, who should have broke the streak, and if the streak should have been broken. Fans, if you're watching, comment, give us your questions. Give us your comments, whatever you want regarding this topic. Jaden, The Undertaker started his career at Survivor Series 1990 when he came in as a special mystery partner of the $1 Million Man. From there, and nobody knew who he was, but the moment he stepped foot in the ring, this man was 6'10", 330 pounds. The man was a phenomenon coming into the WWE. Ever since then, the man took on the likes of Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold, The Rock, Ric Flair, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Roman Reigns. The list goes on and on.
Listen, when you hear that bell, when you hear the ding, Undertaker is about business. Once you hear that bell go off, Undertaker is coming for your life. Undertaker is the type of wrestler that doesn't care about feelings, doesn't care about mercy. It doesn't matter if Undertaker was a heel or a face. Undertaker has no character. If you actually think about it, he really doesn't have a character, because he could go against heels, he could go against faces. He has a tag team partner. Okay, I understand. He's not going to go after them since that's the tag team partner. But if you're his opponent, he doesn't care who you are. He doesn't even care if you're his half brother, his twin brother, anyone.
No, but that's the thing.
He will finish you.
That's what I'm saying. And Undertaker pretty much evolved from where he started as the Undertaker. Then he became the Ministry of Darkness, the Lord of Darkness, the Undertaker. Then the American Badass, and then the Phenom, the Undertaker, which this man has had nearly 2 decades of destruction in the ring. And when we talk about WrestleMania, it all started at WrestleMania 7 when he took on Jimmy Snuka. Jimmy Snuka, Hall of Famer, God rest his soul, is no longer with us. But when The Undertaker first beat Jimmy Superfly Snuka. John Smith, how you doing, sir? Thank you for watching as always and showing your support. Jimmy Snuka everybody was surprised when he beat Jimmy Superfly Snuka at WrestleMania 7. Then came WrestleMania 8. He took on Jake the Snake Roberts, another Hall of Famer. Man was known with the DDT. People thought he was going to beat him. It never happened. Then came the Giant Gonzalez at WrestleMania 9, which that WrestleMania match, I don't think should have happened.
Why not?
It wasn't that good. It wasn't. Yeah, he faced somebody that was bigger than him, kind of a David and Goliath match. But I wasn't really fond of the Undertaker fighting the Giant Gonzalez.
Think about it though. That takes guts for a person that's like, I wouldn't really call him like a starter, but basically, yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you actually think about it, that's a lot coming from someone who's bigger than another person, and you actually have guts to go against that person without showing any fear.
Yeah, no, I understand that, Jaden, but the match wasn't a good match. I didn't enjoy it.
I mean, you know what I mean? Gotta give him credit. Though.
No, I give him. Listen, I always give credit when credit's due.
He went against a bigger man, so I just give him.
No, I understand that, but that's what I'm saying. You fought a guy that had a bodysuit of a muscle. Like, what kind of person wears a gimmick like that? And then you fight this man. The man barely sold what the Undertaker was doing. Like, it was just terrible. It was terrible when it came to that WrestleMania match. And look at Brian Montalvo says Undertaker versus Undertaker. That's right. That was at SummerSlam. It wasn't at WrestleMania. But that match was a little dull too, but in a way pretty good because that's what brought the Undertaker back to the WWE.
Okay, now Dad, I have a question for you. I know this is early to ask, but what was your favorite WrestleMania match of Undertaker's?
Wow, that's a good question, Jaden. That's a tough question. I would have to say Undertaker against Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 26. Yep, and Brian, you're absolutely right. That was a classic. That match was a classic. That between the Undertaker and those two, it was a classic. Because it brought out the best of Brian Lee. It brought out the best of the Undertaker when he came back with the purple and black. So that's definitely a good point. But as I mentioned, Jaden, Shawn Michaels and Undertaker, WrestleMania 26. 25 was good, but 26 was even more better for the simple fact when it was career versus the streak. I honestly think, in my opinion, if the streak was going to be broken, Shawn Michaels should have did it at WrestleMania 26. What do you think?
I don't think... Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. I think Shawn Michaels or Triple H, only because they both had a bigger grudge or like a bigger rivalry going on with The Undertaker. But I don't think he should have exactly ended it at 26 because there wouldn't have been no undefeated Undertaker. And basically, since that was a career-ending match for Shawn Michaels, it made his career go higher and higher since he ended one of the greatest wrestlers to ever be in the WWE.
So you think that instead of Shawn Michaels, Brock Lesnar was the better part to break the streak?
I'm not.
Come on, that. No. Let's clear the air here. Let's clear the air here, folks. Come on, let's clear the air. Brock Lesnar is, I'm sorry, a terrible wrestler. He sucks. Back in his time, in his prime, he was good. Now he sucks. Suplex City, bitch, all that. There's no another word. That's all he can do.
He used to be excellent. You know what I mean? I used to like him as a wrestler.
He was a good.
He's just all about Suplex City.
Exactly. He was good. So that's what I'm saying. Do you think Shawn Michaels should have broke the streak or Brock Lesnar? Or do you think somebody else should have broke the streak if the streak needed to end it before?
I don't think the streak needed to end right away. They could have gave Undertaker just a little bit more time. They could have gave Undertaker at least 2 more streaks until it was broken. But I don't think it should have been broken by Brock Lesnar. Like Brock Lesnar, all he did was suplex him, F5 him. Okay, Undertaker was getting old, but that doesn't mean they needed to end the streak. Don't forget, this is coming from the same man who's been undefeated for at least 20 WrestleManias or 19 WrestleManias. He's been undefeated, no losses for 19 years straight, or if not, a little bit more. That's crazy if you can hold a WrestleMania streak for that long.
No, but that's what I'm saying. This brings up a valid point. Brian just mentioned another hell of a match, WrestleMania 27, when Undertaker fought Triple H.
Exactly.
Triple H lost the match, but Undertaker was stretchered out of the arena because he couldn't stand due to the punishment that Triple H
Don't
gave
get me
him.
wrong.
And he also mentioned Brock is a brute. All he does is throw people around. That's not what professional wrestling is about.
It's really not.
I was surprised that the Undertaker match and him, between those two, it actually went as well as it did. Why? Because the Undertaker carried him. But I'm telling you, if it would have been somebody else, I would not have want Brock Lesnar to end that streak. That was terrible the way they did it. They should have kept the streak going. And then to top it off, you bring him back the following year to face Bray Wyatt, win the match, and then go up against Roman Reigns the following year
and then make him
lose again. That made no sense.
Don't do that to the man.
That made no sense. If that's the case, you should have just let Roman Reigns to end his streak completely. Build his character up even more, and that would have been a perfect heel turn for Roman Reigns.
Yeah,
What do you think?
They did Undertaker dirty with that one. If you're gonna end, just like you said, if they're gonna end the streak, you might as well just end it permanently and not have Undertaker go back at all. Undertaker has done a lot for the business. There would be no dead man without the Undertaker, if you honestly speak.
Who do you think he should have not fought at WrestleMania?
Brock Lesnar. Only because Brock Lesnar... Okay, don't get me wrong. The match did go planned, just like you said, because he got carried. It wasn't because Brock Lesnar was carrying Undertaker. Undertaker was carrying Brock.
Okay.
It's the only reason why the match went as planned.
Okay.
But all Brock is about now is Suplex City. Welcome to Suplex City. I'm going to throw you backwards. That's boring. All you're doing is throwing someone backwards, putting them on your shoulder, and doing a loop-de-loop, spinning them around. Like, that's not fun. Who gets the joy of watching someone spin someone off of their shoulder? Now, a person that, well, okay, before I answer that question that I just asked myself, who would you like to see Undertaker go up against that he's never been against in WrestleMania?
I wish he could have fought John Cena in his prime. The match that him and John Cena had, I hated it.
Both of them
I hated that match because it was a short match. It was terrible. Undertaker is already old. Cena was already in his prime.
Yeah.
John Cena was already going into his stage of retiring for all the bumps he was getting. So it pretty much, I didn't like the match. They should have never fought at WrestleMania. That's another thing. What the match I wanted to see, and I know for a fact that a lot of fans wanted to see this match, but it didn't happen. Undertaker versus Sting. That match should have happened, and it did not happen.
No.
Unfortunately, it didn't happen, and it was just a shame that it didn't happen. I wanted to see it. The fans wanted to see it, and it just wasn't good. But
a match I would like to see is, I don't know if you get me wrong about this, but Braun Strowman versus Undertaker, but not this Undertaker. The Undertaker at his prime, the younger dead man.
See, everybody's agreeing with it. Moses Marquez and
the younger. I'm talking about the younger dead man. When Undertaker was, when Undertaker was in the shape, to do the old school, to do the oh my god dive, the suicide dive. That Undertaker, I would like to see him
exactly. That would have been a phenomenal match. That's what I'm saying.
Think about it. Braun Strowman is a powerhouse. Braun Strowman's nothing compared to Brock Lesnar.
That's what I'm saying.
Braun Strowman will just slam you.
With Undertaker,
he will do everything
exactly.
He can to beat his opponent.
But to this day, everyone was still called. You see, Brian just said it. Taker and Sting all the way.
Yeah,
that's the match that everybody wanted to see,
right.
and that's the whole point. If you're having a match like that, two phenomenal icons, The Undertaker and Sting. Sting was an icon in WCW.
Yes.
Undertaker was an icon in WWE. Now Sting is a Hall of Famer. Undertaker's a future Hall of Famer. Why didn't they book the match before? It never happened. Same thing like I mentioned with John Cena and Undertaker. That should have happened years ago. When John Cena was in his prime in the 2000s and Undertaker was in his prime, That match should have
would've been a
happened
great
at
match.
Don't get me wrong. They did the WrestleMania 23 with Batista and Undertaker. That was a phenomenal match. But I think they should have did John Cena and The Undertaker for the WWE Championship at that time. And don't get me wrong, Shawn Michaels and John Cena was a hell of a match. But I would have preferred Undertaker and John Cena at that time.
I agree.
So
I would have preferred them.
And it's like Brian said, which he commented on, Undertaker should have retired with the undefeated streak. In my opinion, his opinion.
I agree.
But he
I
also did send a
absolutely do
statement.
agree.
He pretty much wanted to send a message. I can be beat. I'm not a phenom. I am a human being. I can still take... I'm giving back to the business, pretty much. That's what he did. He gave back to the business. That's so much gave to him. But I think it was wrong by ending the streak.
But I can't say one thing. The streak could have been ended, but end him off with a good note. End him off with a person that people like to see wrestle. End Undertaker's streak with a wrestler that everyone likes to see wrestle.
Exactly.
Like Brock Lesnar and Undertaker, that was like a little rip-off
That's
match.
what I'm saying. And especially on the 30th anniversary of WrestleMania, 30 years,
my point.
You put this man to lose
Exactly.
at WrestleMania. That was the dumbest thing you could have ever
Like,
done.
you should have seen the way the
if you
fans
were gonna do it a year later, all right, I'll agree with that. But 30 years in the making of WrestleMania, you're gonna let this man lose in front of a whole an entire crowd in the Silverdome? Like, that made no sense to me. Like, I saw the match and I'm like, oh my God, what the hell is WWE doing?
Exactly.
So it was bad. But John Smith just brought up a point. That's another match I would have wanted to see at WrestleMania that they never did.
Undertaker versus Stone Cold.
Exactly. Yes, they fought at SummerSlam. Yes, they fought in other spots, but they should have put him in a match at WrestleMania. And Moses Marquez says, phenomenal. That's a stretcher. Laughing out loud. Batista versus Taker. Gas all right. That was a pretty good match. That was a pretty good match between Batista and The Undertaker. And yes, I heard back then that Batista really did not want to lose to The Undertaker because he was getting momentum in the WWE. But this is The Undertaker. You're not going to say no to losing to The Undertaker.
You can't say no to the Undertaker at his prime. You cannot say
no. Now,
here's
a question for you. Do you think Roman Reigns should have beaten The Undertaker?
No.
Why?
No.
Why?
Because you're putting up a new age wrestler against a legend.
Okay.
You're not supposed to do that. Like, you should at least Undertaker's old. Undertaker can't wrestle as good. At least go make Undertaker go off with a good note.
Okay.
Make him go off with a different wrestler.
Okay.
Or at least win.
All right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But don't you think that was a passing of the torch?
Okay, yes.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong. Roman Reigns and Undertaker put on the show.
No, because you saw the outcome of what happened when Roman Reigns beat The Undertaker, came to in the Silverdome, that was yep, you're absolutely right. Fourth field. My apologies. No, but at WrestleMania 30, Roman Reigns came out. The crowd booed the hell out of him, and
just like
he was passing the torch. He was passing the torch. But that's what I'm saying. You disagree?
No.
That he should have never fought him. He should have never beat him.
I don't disagree. I don't think he should have beat him because I wanted Undertaker to end the streak.
I think it should have been Roman.
Okay.
I think it should have been Roman.
Forget
Brock Lesnar, forget Shawn Michaels, forget everybody. If you're trying to build up somebody, you're trying to build up a character, you should have let Roman Reigns beat him and end the streak if that's how it's going to happen.
I agree, but I disagree. Now, here are my reasons. I agree only because I wanted Undertaker to end off the streak with at least one more match after the streak is broken.
Okay.
But Roman Reigns was basically the hottest wrestler at the time. So just like you said, it was a passing of the torch. And Roman Reigns actually deserved it because he did better than Brock. Those guys put on a show, especially since Undertaker's not at his prime anymore. Undertaker's getting older. So for that age limit, Undertaker can still throw down.
He was still able to put on a show.
He was putting on a show. So I think that was a good passing of the torch.
Absolutely. And it was.
I'm not really on the sides with this one because Roman Reigns absolutely deserved to get the torch passed on by one of the greatest wrestlers to ever be inside the WWE.
Another match I enjoyed, which was crazy, was the Hell in a Cell match between Shane McMahon and The Undertaker.
Oh, yeah.
That match was pretty good. Shane McMahon pretty much put his body on the line to jump from the top of the cell, which is like 15, 20 feet high, and try to land on The Undertaker. And the next thing you know, boom. It was just downhill from there. So he said, no, Roman, he is a mid-carder. Ken, I'm sorry, Ken, he's not a mid-card. He's not a main eventer. He's definitely not a mid-carder. He is definitely not a mid-carder. So I don't know what you're watching, but he's definitely not a mid-carder. The man has main evented many WrestleManias, won titles, done a phenomenal job in the WWE. So I'm sorry, I have to disagree with you with that one.
I gotta disagree.
Anyway, when it comes to matches at WrestleMania, one match I did not enjoy seeing was the handicap match when Albert and Big Show fought against The Undertaker. This one, The Undertaker was the American badass. The Undertaker won and whatever.
I didn't like the match either, but at least Undertaker held his own.
Of course he held his own. That's the point, that he was able to hold his own.
This is what people don't understand. Undertaker is not the type to back down from a fight. He was the dead man, anything you want to call him. Undertaker, you can beat him as many times, put him through tables, do any single thing you want to The Undertaker. God, he even got lit on fire by his own half-brother, and he came back. But back to topic. Undertaker is a man of many talents. You can do anything to The Undertaker, he will not give up. That's what makes The Undertaker so unpredictable, because you never know what will come next. Undertaker doesn't plan his moves out. Undertaker just does Undertaker.
Okay, so in your opinion, who do you think was Undertaker's most toughest challenge at WrestleMania? Out of every single WrestleMania match you've seen, and fans, you can comment on this too. Who do you guys think was Undertaker's most toughest challenge at WrestleMania?
Because of the match, Triple H. But the Hell in a Cell match is the only reason why. Just because those guys put each other through havoc.
Okay.
Those guys messed each other up.
Okay. Brian says Kane.
Okay, well,
Brian says Kane.
They ever fight at WrestleMania?
They fought at WrestleMania, but you know what? But I kind of have a clue why he's saying Kane, because at WrestleMania it took Undertaker 3 tombstones to beat this man. 3. So that's why Brian is saying. See, they fought at WrestleMania twice. They fought at WrestleMania 20. And I think they fought at WrestleMania 15, if I'm not mistaken. I forgot which WrestleMania they fought in that one. But when Kane first came out as Kane with the mask, with no talk, he gave The Undertaker a run for his money. So that was pretty impressive what he did. And yes, Moses Marquez says Biker Taker was also great. Yeah, he was a great worker, and he was still must watch. Yeah, of course, absolutely. He was good. He was raising havoc. You see, he dragged Hulk Hogan in a motorcycle. So he did a lot with his motorcycle when he was at WrestleMania. But to me, the toughest match he had was against Triple H at Hell in a Cell. And I say that for the simple fact that Shawn Michaels was the special guest referee. He got sweet chin music, pedigreed, hit with a chair and a sledgehammer, and still got up and won the match.
Not even that. These guys were just beating each other up. He was getting beat up by both of them.
He had marks in his back. Just prove it from the chair marks.
Of a sweet chin music, and he kicked out of a tombstone. His own move against him, he kicked out of his own move.
Exactly.
Now, okay. A match I would have liked to see, it's already happened. But someone commented on this. If I'm not mistaken, John Smith commented on this. I would have liked to see Mankind and Undertaker in that Hell in a Cell match at WrestleMania.
It happened at King of the Ring. They should have made that match at WrestleMania. That I gotta agree with you with.
They should have made it in WrestleMania.
That I gotta agree with you with. They
should have made it in WrestleMania, because that was like one of the first ever WrestleMania
matches. It would have been one of the best WrestleMania matches ever. This should have been
one of the best WrestleMania matches.
Well, we just got a comment. Moses Marquez. He just mentioned Undertaker and Triple H. Absolutely. When they fought at WrestleMania twice, that was a match of the year both years. These guys went on for almost an hour in the ring, and it was phenomenal. That one mistake Shawn Michaels did cost him, but the man still gave it his all at WrestleMania.
We're not knocking Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels Undertaker wouldn't have that streak if it wasn't for Shawn Michaels putting that show on for them. Shawn Michaels Shawn Michaels is one of the reasons why Undertaker still has that streak going, because he helped Undertaker with that shit. It wasn't technically a passing of the torch, but either way, Shawn Michaels put on a good show. Shawn Michaels impressed the fans for his last match, and I absolutely loved the match. If you haven't seen the match, it was a regular, regular one-on-one.
It was a good match. It was a good match.
Even if it wasn't a hardcore match, anything, that match will still get you out of your seat.
The match that I really wasn't too fond about either, but I guess this was another passing of the torch, but I didn't really enjoy it. Ric Flair and The Undertaker. They fought at WrestleMania. Yeah, The Undertaker was a heel. Ric Flair was Ric Flair, the dirtiest player in the game, because Undertaker attacked Arn Anderson, and that's what promoted the WrestleMania match. He went 10-0. I didn't think those two should have been in the ring together, in my opinion.
It's not really a match. Like the Ric Flair, dirtiest player in the game, like you said.
I got a question for you, not to cut you off.
What's your question?
Do you think Seth Rollins would have been able to fight The Undertaker at WrestleMania? For Mr. Seth Rollins fans over here.
Okay.
Come on, look at the camera.
I think he could have fought him, but I don't think he could have beat him. I know.
I'm glad you make that clear.
All right. I know I'm a Seth Rollins fan and all, but Seth Rollins...
See, even Brian says it. Nah, Seth Rollins would have never beat him.
Seth Rollins is like a new upcoming wrestler. Undertaker has experience. Undertaker knows all these guys' new moves. Like, don't get me wrong, Seth Rollins is about flipping, jumping through the ropes, super kicking and stuff. That's not really gonna get you anywhere when it comes to a person like Undertaker.
Well,
Undertaker.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That yes, Seth Rollins beat Brock Lesnar, the Beast Slayer, and he beat Triple H, the King Slayer. But a phenom he will never beat. Come on, Jada, it's the truth.
Okay,
it's the truth.
I'm not knocking that.
See, look at that. He would have. Even Brian said it. Taker would have burned him in peace. I roll. Come on. You can't. He would never have lived up to The Undertaker.
I never said I was disagreeing with that. I clearly just said he won't beat him. Did you not hear me say that?
Of course.
I said
I just had to make that clear. Okay, here's another question. Here's another question. In Undertaker's prime, do you think Roman Reigns could have beat The Undertaker?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I think Roman still could have beat him.
Absolutely not.
I think Roman still could have beat him.
Undertaker as the biker.
I'm sorry, Brian. I know you're a big Undertaker fan. I love The Undertaker too.
No.
But I think he would have beat him.
As the biker or the prime dead man?
Come on. Stop it.
Dead.
Roman Reigns was an up-and-coming star the way he was getting all the attention. How he would have not beat The Undertaker?
Dead. Are you growing gray hairs?
Even Brian says, hell no. I'm sorry, Brian. I know you're a big fan of The Undertaker.
How old are you to not know the answer to this question?
I'm 37, son.
Society
I am into society.
And realize
you see this fan. You see how my son talks to me. He thinks he knows more than what I know. Okay, son.
But I'm being honest. Who can beat Undertaker at his prime?
But that's what I'm saying. That's the whole point. In his prime and Roman Reigns in his prime, he would have beat him.
No, he would not.
You sure about that?
Yes, I am absolutely sure about that.
Okay. Fans,
Undertaker wouldn't have known anything. Roman Reigns wouldn't have known anything about Undertaker. He wouldn't have known that Undertaker could do the old school. He wouldn't have known about the Tombstone Power Driver, about the choke slam, about the last ride. He wouldn't have known about any of that. Undertaker has his things planned out. Undertaker starts you off with a choke slam, last ride, tombstone, old school.
So all right, So all right, so you got some people agreeing with you.
Even my point.
Even Moses Marquez says no way that was the reason why the streak lasted so long.
Okay, he can beat him now, but he will not beat him as the biker, or he will not beat him as the dead man at his prime. If he could probably beat him as the that first character that Undertaker was, but the dead man at his prime and the biker at his prime, no.
Okay. Here's one more question. Okay. And I'm going to say yeah to this. Throw it at me. Do you think both of them in their prime, not years later, that The Undertaker would have been able to beat Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania?
Yes.
BS.
I'm sorry, but
BS.
Yes.
If he would have fought Hulk Hogan in the 80s, going into the he beat him at Survivor Series.
Are you talking about Hulk Hogan at his prime or
Hulk
Undertaker?
Hogan and the Undertaker in their prime. Okay. Undertaker just coming in. Hulk Hogan still red hot in the 80s, fighting the Undertaker at WrestleMania.
I got the honest opinion.
Hell no. Hulk Hogan would have beat him.
I cannot answer.
Nope, Hulk Hogan would have beat him.
Answer.
I'm gonna answer for you.
You're only answering because you're a Hulk Hogan fan.
Exactly. And I knew Hulk Hogan when he wrestled. Hulk Hogan would have beat him.
Yeah, I doubt that. I highly doubt that.
Come on.
Yeah, just like he said,
it's a tough one. But he knows I'm a Hulk Hogan fan. He's an Undertaker fan. But we gotta face facts. Hulk Hogan is the greatest wrestler of all time.
You say that because that's your favorite.
Tell me something different. You think Undertaker's the better wrestler?
Yes, absolutely.
BS.
Okay.
Nope.
Listen.
No, now you're delirious. What age? How old are you to understand where we're going?
I'm still growing.
Exactly. And I already know professional wrestling.
Listen to reason.
Okay, reason. Let's go. Say your reason.
Hulk Hogan was better at his time. Hulk Hogan was better, at his time. Undertaker was better at his time. You cannot... Exactly, I played the fifth. You cannot compare.
No, I don't plead the fifth. Hulk Hogan. Of course you could compare. How are you not going to compare?
God.
These two are phenomenal athletes in the ring.
To knock you out and wake you back up to realize.
You hear this kid knock me out. You see how my son talks to me?
Knock you out and make you
No,
realize.
listen. Hulk Hogan was the reason that professional wrestling is the way it is today.
Okay, but you cannot compare. Those guys were at two different times.
That's what I'm saying. If you had them,
compare two guys that are at two different times.
But
literally, answer that question. How can you? Okay.
See, even he says Hulk Hogan is the greatest wrestling draw in history.
Okay, but answer this question. How can you compare someone like Mr. Perfect to Ricochet now?
Brian, don't encourage him. Tell him to knock me out.
Exactly. Thank you. How can you compare? This is basically what you're saying. You're basically saying you're comparing Seth Rollins to Mr. Perfect. That's basically
Moses.
Like
see, I gotta stop you, Moses. I feel you with Ric Flair and Okada, but Ric Flair is not the greatest wrestler of all time. I'm sorry.
Ric Flair is one of the greatest.
Jaden, look, he gave you a compliment, Jaden. I love this kid. He's the best. He's liking what you're telling him. But today, always and forever, Hulk Hogan to me will be the best wrestler of all time. This kid, man.
Whatever helps you dream, man.
No. You gotta watch his matches and see why he was the greatest of all time. He fought giant in between 93,000 fans.
One guy.
One guy that was undefeated for 15 years.
And your point is
that if he beat Andre the Giant, he can beat the Undertaker.
Because they wanted to give him a chance. If he was undefeated for 15 years, it's called a passing of the torch.
Stop it.
If he was undefeated 15 years, he was passing the torch.
Exactly.
That's why he only beat him.
No.
Undertaker was at Andre the Giant's time. He wouldn't have never won that.
Jesus Christ. You see what I got to do with fans?
He said I'm about to get grounded.
Jesus.
If Hulk Hogan was in Andre the Giant's time, Hulk Hogan would have never won that.
Of course.
They were just giving Hulk Hogan a chance.
Whatever.
They were all. You're just saying.
Anyway.
They were just giving
before we leave, fans, please leave on the comment. We just want to know before we leave, what was your best Undertaker match at WrestleMania? And if you wanted the streak to be broken, who should have broken the streak at WrestleMania? If you didn't want the streak broken, say it. The streak should not have been broken. Say your piece on the comments. While you guys are doing that, I'm going to keep talking to my son over here, I'm going to have to school him on wrestling, in old school wrestling, because obviously he's never seen Hulk Hogan's matches.
I've seen enough matches, and I'm not saying Hulk Hogan's not the greatest, but I still think he can't be Undertaker. Still think he can't. I still think he can't.
Okay. Brian Montalvo says no streak should have been broken.
I agree.
That we can actually agree on something.
Jesus Thank Christ. You.
You're absolutely right. And we're gonna have another match. If not this year, or next year.
Yes, it's about that time.
Yeah, it's definitely about that time, Brian. We're gonna have that wrestling match again. Listen, I'm saying it on the show. I'm saying it in front of him. I can guarantee you we're going to have that match.
Yes.
He called the passing of the torch, burn of the night, Jaden with the epic comeback.
Exactly my point. exactly what I'm saying. If you are a real WWE fan, you would understand that if Hulk Hogan was at the time of Andre the Giant, not that body slam wouldn't have happened. Or if it would have happened, he wouldn't have won the match. He
Okay,
probably would have
Moses
kicked out.
Marquez puts Michaels hands down that he should have broken the streak. I agree with that 100%.
okay,
Shawn Michaels
I agree.
should have broken that streak. If it was anybody that was going to do it, a phenomenal athlete just as Shawn Michaels should have did it.
They don't call
if they were going to, they don't call him the
WrestleMania
exactly
for nothing.
the
They don't
Mr.
call him
Main
the
Event,
Heartbreak Kid for
the
nothing.
showstopper, the main
Exactly. They
eventer,
don't call him
everything.
those for nothing.
Exactly. So, oh man, what a topic. It never fails with this kid. I'm always arguing and we're always going at it because he thinks he knows more than me.
I do.
No, you don't.
I
Absolutely not. I'm the older one here. No, I'm the older one here.
You're the older one. Yeah, that's kind of bad, Dad, because you lose your memory a lot.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Well,
Oh yeah.
Okay, back
You
to
see
what you were
this? You see this disrespect from my co-host? How he's coming at me right
back to
now?
what you were saying.
Jesus Christ.
Continue your sentence, sir. Please.
Yes, my sentence is Hulk Hogan's better.
No, he is not.
He is. He is. Enough.
Dad, stop lying.
Anyway.
You're delirious. Just stop lying, Dad.
Anyway. Yes, Brian, I'm going to give him the smackdown if he doesn't cool it. As always, fans, it's time for us to end our show. Thank you for watching. We appreciate the support. We appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. If you have any topics, concerns, or any questions you have for us, email us at evolutionofprowrestling@gmail.com. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Evolution of Pro Wrestling. It's an excellent topic. We got over 75 shows on our YouTube. We're inching towards 100, which we're great to have. We're going to have a nice little 100 episode special, which is great. Thank you for your support. For myself, Lewis, my co-host, Jaden. Next week, we're not naming our topic, but we are going to touch on the draft. Starting today and going into Monday Night Raw. Let me see. One more comment. Okay, go watch a Hogan match. Find the best match ever. And then put it against Flair. Match against Steamboat, Luger, or Sting. And tell me who's the better. Okay, you got that there. Hulk Hogan was the draw money. Ric Flair was the better athlete in the ring. I give you that, Moses. That I could agree on. Absolutely. And yes. And
love the merch already subscribed. Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate it. So, again, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Watch our channels. And from all of us here, from myself, Lewis, my co-host, Jaden, and from my producer and director, my lovely wife, Yesenia, and from the Evolution family. Thanks again for watching, fans. Have a good night.